Hello, hello. Okay, I think that's work. Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Ganis.Z.J, Judan, and today I'm going to do a presentation about pre-intermediate grammar. This is the second time we're doing this, so let's begin. Part one: degree of comparison. So, degree of comparisons are used to compare people, place, animals, or things based on quality, size, quantity, or degree in English grammar. There are three degree of comparison: positive degree, uh, comparative, and superlative. So, positive degree is basically it didn't actually compare something to something. For example, it used an as. For example, I'm not as smart as my father. That's my example. So the structure is usually use an as plus as. So just like my example before, and there is just an adjective and I think it's just an adjective and alone, no comparison. So it's just not comparing at all. And positive degree basic form example, Indonesian culture is just as beautiful as Japanese culture. The voice is as bad as DC films. Local music is as good as Western music. This country histories is interesting. And then we have a real life example of this comparison. So in this screenshot, an I take it from a news page. I think, yeah, I can see it with this distance. I'm sorry. So you can check it the source. So it's basically say in modern swipe culture, books are boosting attraction. Reading has become a staple of dating app profiles, whether it's including yours. So it didn't comparing at all. And then yeah, this is also there is also an explanation I put here. This is in the positive figures because it simply states a quality, reading being stable without comparing it to anything else. So it just states something and didn't compare it at all. And then the second is, at the same time, crime is far more than a personal enemy. This is considered as a positive degree because this highlighted a sentence as a positive degree because it didn't compare anything. Again, it just stated something but didn't compare it at all. And then second form is comparative degree. The comparative degree is used to compare person or something. So it because it's just an it's obvious for you to look at the name comparative. It's comparing something to something. The structure is use short adjective one syllable, add er. If there is a long adjective, two or more syllables, use more. So for example, Megan Fox is prettier in her prime time than the current time. Internet is more enjoyable back then than right now. I think I think bought a laptop is a more useful than buying a PC. Eating at work is cheaper than at the restaurant. So we use er we use at one syllable word, and we use more for two or more syllable. So it's kind of easy actually. And there is a real example here. Skyrim is our highest rated game in the series, one whole percentage point higher than Oblivion. So it compare a game called Skyrim having a more percentage than than Oblivion. It comparing something to something. You can see the source of news here. And then there is no it yeah there is a dupe slide. I think I should delete it. Can I delete here? Delete slide. Yes. Yes, I can delete it. Okay, so there is a second example of degree is or of comparative degree. the text says the main way it sets itself apart from more recent Bethesda RPGs is that it's sometimes unin, unintu, in, unintu, unintuitively system, while undoubtedly less approachable than Skyrim. Uh, it's a mouthful. So it basically says the system it's less approachable than Skyrim. It's compare a one game to another game. It's comparing another system to another system. So there is a superlative degree comparing more than two. The superlative degree is used when comparing more than two persons or thing. It shows the highest or lowest degree. Formation rules: short adjective, short syllable, one syllable, add s, est, and long adjective use most. For example, Indonesia is the most populated country in Southeast Asia. Skyrim is the most popular RPG open world game. Oblivion have the greatest story in Elder Scrolls franchise. Goblin is the ugliest looking creature in general fantasy story. So we use est for one syllables for short adjective, and we use most for two or more syllable or long adjective. There is another real example. Avatar Shrine, as highest grossing film of all time, looks set to end. It's superlative because use est, and it specified itself using of all time. So it in comparing itself so a lot of thing here. And then the second is it's superlative because it says Arknight Enfield is the latest competitor in this generous fierce what is that? Arknight Enfield is the latest competitor in this generous fierce attention economy. So it comparing itself to a lot of things, not just one, not just two, but a lot of things. So we use est for one syllable. Okay. Correlative conjunction. Correlative are used in pairs to link equal parts of sentence. The most common correlative conjunction are either or, neither nor, not only but also, as so, not but. There is also another example, but I just use, but this is commonly used or commonly known. For example, Peter Parker, not only he is smart but also athletic as well, thanks to his spider power. Nick Fury is neither have superpower nor super strength. It is not about money, but it's about loyalty. And when you start smoking, either you will addict it or you start hating it. So it's basically correlative conjunction is basically a conjunction that connect two parts of the sentence. And there is and we have I think I can zoom in, right? Yeah. So there is another real life example that commonly used. The first screenshot says, not only this, but we have split this guide across spoiler-free and spoiler-heavy section. I think the writer write this wrong because it should be have an also after the but I think it's okay. So it's basically it's used not only and but also as correlative conjunction. It means not only they will explain something, but they will split their explanation into two sections. And then there's whether it's because the power of shown in both Avenger Infinity War or Avenger Endgame, the gauntlet powers in undeniable. So whether or is to show possibility. So it's connecting the two part of sentence by showing another possibility. Oops. And then we move on to error analysis. So just like before, there is a paragraph that have 10 errors, so I need to track down the errors and corrected the paragraph. Okay, so the relative clause paragraph says the student which won the competition is my friend. She met a professor who she was published. It's already weird. She was published last year. The library where it was renovated recently is very modern. I have a classmate he studies linguistics every day. The laptop who I bought yesterday is already broken. The lecturer that she teaches syntax is very popular among students. The building which we discussed about yesterday will be demolished soon. The researcher, whom article received an award, works at a famous university. This is the campus that where I studied for 4 years. The scholarship which it was offered by the government attract many applicants. So the error is first thing off is the student which won change it to the student who won the competition because it says student, it's not an object, so it should be referring to people, so we use who as the relative clause, so it change it to the student who won the competition. Second one is she met a professor who she book. That's already weird, so we change it. She met a professor whose book was published because it's already told about a professor, so you don't need she because we use whose to mention the person, the professor. Okay. Third one is the library where it was renovated. Change it to where was renovated because it doesn't necessary to be there, so use where was renovated. I have a classmate his studies, we change it because just like the second one we didn't use a pronoun after whose because it's already mentioned the person, so we use I have a classmate who studies linguistics every day. The fifth one, the laptop I bought, change it the laptop which I bought. I bought, yes, because it's mentioned an object, the laptop, so it didn't mention the person. It mentioned it focus on the object, so we use which. The sixth one is the lecturer that she teaches, change it to the lecturer that teach syntax. The building which we discussed about, change it to which we discussed yesterday because you already discussed the building, so you didn't discuss about something you already told you discuss a building, so delete the about. The eighth one, the researcher whom article, change it to whose because it's mentioned someone, not to mention an object. I think yes, it's mentioned whose article. It's mentioned an person with an object. The ninth, this is the campus that where I studied, change it to this is the campus where I studied. So this is the campus that, yes, deleted that. It's just unnecessary to be there. The 10th one is the scholarship which it was offered, change it to the scholarship which was offered. Yeah, it's just the same as the 9th one. Okay, the second part is relative clause. So this is the corrected sentence. I already bolded which one I corrected. So this is the first one. The student who won the competition, my friend. She met a professor whose book was published last year. The library where was renovated recently is very modern. I have a classmate who studies linguistics every day. The laptop which I bought yesterday is already broken. The lecturer that teaches syntax is very popular among the students. The building which we discussed yesterday is to be demolished soon. The researcher whose article received an award works at famous and university. This is the campus where I studied for 4 years. The scholarship which was offered by the government attract many applicants. Okay, we move to the second paragraph. My university is more larger. It's already weird. My university is more larger than the university in my hometown. Among all of the students in my class, Sarah is the most smartest student. This semester is more easier than the previous one. The library is the quietest than the cafeteria. English is interestinger than mathematics for many students. My laptop is expensiver than my friend's laptop. Of the three presentation, John's presentation was more best. Yikes. The new classroom is the more comfortable room in the building. Traveling by train is the most cheap. Then traveling by plane to this weather is better than yesterday weather. Okay, this is the obvious one. Oh wait, sorry. Next slide. This is the error. My university is more larger. Change it more larger to just larger because it's one syllable. You don't need more. Sarah is the most smartest. Change it to the smartest because it's one syllable. This semester is more easier. Delete the more. It delete the more. You don't need more in one syllable word. The library is the quietest. Change it to quieter because it's one syllable. English interestinger, change it to more interesting because it's more than one syllable. My laptop is expensive, more change it to more expensive because it's more than two syllable. John presentation was more best, change it to was the best because it's one syllable and it's already have est. The new classroom is more comfortable, change it to the most comfortable. Yeah, the most is the most comfortable, change it to the superlative structure. Traveling by train is most cheap, change it to cheaper than traveling by plane. Today weather is worse than yesterday weather. Yeah, so I think I forgot to write this. So basically the 10th one change the today's weather is better, change it to today's weather is the worst. I forget to write that. Okay, so the third one, my oh no, this is the degree of comparison paragraph corrected. So we have my university is larger than the university in my hometown. Among all students in my class, Sarah is the smartest student. This semester is easier than the previous one. The library is quieter than the cafeteria. English is more interesting than the mathematics. My laptop is more expensive. Yes, expensive than my friend's laptop. Of the three presentation, John's presentation was the best. The new classroom is the most comfortable room in the building. Traveling train is cheaper than traveling by plane. Today's weather is worse than yesterday weather. Okay, the last one, question 3, correlative conjunction paragraph. So, both the lecturer or the student were interested in the seminar. Either the manager and the staff members are responsible for the project. Neither the teacher or the students was prepared for the presentation. Not only does the library provide digital resource and also offer a study pace. The researcher is interested both in collecting data and to analyze the results. Whether the meeting will be online and offline has not been decided. No sooner had the lecture started when several students arrived late. Scarcely had I finished my assignment than the lecturer announced a new task. Such was the difficulty of the exam that so many students failed it. Rather the professor than also the assistant conducted the workshop. So the first error is both lecturer or the student changed both lecturer and the student because it says the lecturer and the student have the same situation, so it didn't referring to an option, it just adding a detail. So both lecturer and the students were interested in the seminar. And the second one is either the manager and the staff. That's show, and just like a number one is just add a detail. The manager and the staff are responsible, so both of them are responsible, but using either and neither the teacher either the manager or the staff are responsible. It use either and or because it's shown an option, but the option is do the same thing. So either the manager or the staff do the same thing, they are responsible. Neither the teacher or the student change the or to nor, because it's the same as either or in negative form. Not only does the library provide digital resource and also change to but also study space, because what? Because not only and but also, it's meant to add a detail, it's to add something. The fifth one is interested both in collecting data and analyzing the result. I think I forgot to write this. So the fifth one is, I think, in no, I think, where is that the researcher is interested there. The researcher is interested in both collecting data and to analyze the results. Change the collecting change the analyze to change the to analyze to analyzing, because in, I think, this in this correlative conjunction we use verb ing. The sixth one, whether the meeting will be online and offline, change it to or offline, because it's whether is actually meant to be show an option. No sooner had the lecturer started when several change it to then several students arrived late. So it will be no sooner had the lecturer started than several students arrived late. So it's kind of similar to an idiom that said no sooner sooner than later, no sooner than later. So it changed the when to then. Scarcely had I finished assignment, then the lecturer changed it to before the lecturer, because me personally think that before is more suitable in this context. And then the ninth, such was the difficulty of the exam that so many students changed it, so many students to that many students failed it, because the writer didn't explain that they didn't participate in the exam. The 10th, rather the professor than also assistant, rather the professor than also the assistant, change it to then the assistant. So it just a rather than situation. So instead of then also, use the then the assistant, because in rather than situation you don't need an also. And then this is the correct sentence. Both lecturer or the student were interested in the seminar. Either the manager or the staff members are responsible for the project. Neither the teacher nor the student was prepared for the presentation. Not only does the library provide digital resource, but also offers study space. The researcher is interested both in collecting data and analyzing the result. Whether the meeting will be online or offline has not been decided yet. No sooner had the lecturer started than several students arrived late. Scarcely had I finished my assignment before the lecturer announced a new task. Such was the difficulty of the exam that many students failed it. Rather the professor than the assistant conducted the workshop. So that's it for this presentation. I hope you enjoy it, and thank you.